Good morning, you guys. Good morning to Coffee with Shanda this morning. I'm happy to be here. I am drinking my macchiato, which I absolutely love. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to run Coffee with Shanda where basically it's an ask me anything you want about business or life. How do you actually run your life while you're running a business, still have a life? But before we jump into that, I just want to share with you there's been some things that I keep seeing in the marketplace, and I think it's important that we talk about it just for a second, and then I'll do, hi, Kim, how are you? And then we'll do some straight Q&A. So ask yourself right now, what is the question that you want me to answer around your business? It's an awesome opportunity for me to be able to hot seat you and be able to answer any questions that you want in your business. Also, it's really great because you can hear the feedback that I give and the questions that people ask me, and often it will give you some really creative ideas to spark in your own business on what you could do. But before we jump into that, I just want to make a statement. As you become more successful, stay humble. Okay, what's going to make you wildly abundant is hunger, meaning that you've got to be hungry enough for the life that you want or the impact you want to make in the world in order to get something to really work. However, what I find is that when people, and we're all different, when people get a certain level of success or comfortability, they tend to get a little cocky. You know, there's a very big difference between somebody who supports and gives when there's something to gain from them. And it's very different when somebody supports and gives. And I mean support and gives like you can, like I can't imagine ever sitting in my house going, oh, I have another client that wants my attention. Oh my God, somebody else is going through another breakdown and they're like not committed again. Like I could never imagine being like that with my clients. And sometimes I see it with my clients. I would never say who that is, but you know who you are, right? Sometimes I see it with my clients. I see it with my clients a lot. And then, but what I also see is that when people start getting a certain level of traction, they tend to stop being hungry anymore and they get complacent. And when you get complacent and you lose your hunger, what happens is you're either always growing or you're depleting. And so it doesn't take long where I see somebody who's a rock star in our community absolutely lose momentum and ground and end up back at square one. Another thing, it's funny how we can go to university, and if somebody fails out of university, and I can say that at one point in my life I failed out of university, and I remember saying to myself, well, it's because I couldn't figure out what my major was. And then once I figured out what my major was, it was, you know what, I'm really not cut out for school, but I took responsibility. Why is it when we work with a coach or a consultant and somebody doesn't succeed, we blame the coach? The reason why I think that's important for you to understand and hear is watch out around people's reputation, right? Watch out around people's reputation. Watch out around your own judgment around people. Also watch out around what you're listening to other people talk about. Okay, so if you're going to make good, solid decisions in your life, these decisions need to come from your ability to look at the exact situation and not the rumors around an ability. What I mean by that is if you are right now looking, I really believe obviously you should work with a coach or consultant. If you are looking at a coach or consultant to work with, I'm not saying myself, whether it's me or any other great, amazing coach in the industry. Look, when I wanted to fall in love, I hired somebody to help me in love. I just recently heard about one of our clients saying they never would have invested $30,000 in love coaching if they would have had the mindset they have today, yet this person still hasn't fallen in love. Okay, stop for a second. Do you think maybe that has anything to do with the person? Right? Do you think that has anything? Yes. Right? Absolutely. So we have to watch our feedback in the world so that we're not detouring people from making great decisions. And I'll say this a million times and then it'll happen right after this Facebook Live, right? You have to really manage your mind. And when somebody is giving you some feedback on something, is the feedback coming from a place of knowledge that they know without a doubt, right? So I typically only take feedback, and this sounds funny, but from people really successful that have already done the thing. Now, let me give you an example. There's a ridiculously successful person in the internet marketing world who gave me advice around infomercials. And I didn't listen to them at all because they've never done an infomercial before, right? So when someone asked me advice around podcasting, I said, that's not my space, right? But here's what I know about podcasting, and here's who you should go hire to be able to learn about podcasting. So my point is that, often we make up these things inside of our head and we take advice from people who are not getting the right results. Do not take advice from people who are not getting the right results. If you're about to hire a coach, look around the coach. Are there really successful people around that person? If there are, then that's a good chance that if you put in everything you got, that you'd be successful. If there are unsuccessful people, welcome to the world of numbers, meaning that there are always going to be non-successful people around successful people. And that's because not everybody does the work. Also, not everybody trusts the coaching. So I have a group opening up called the 1% Club. One of the specifics of the declaration of the agreement on the 1% Club, this is for only people who want to be millionaires, is people who will 100% listen to the coaching. I'm totally okay if somebody won't listen to my coaching. They're just not going to be in the 1% Club. Only because I have a strong, strong vision with that group, and I want everybody to be millionaires in there. And then when they become millionaires, I want them to be the type of people that would say, you know what, how do I become a multimillionaire? And that's who I want to work with, not the people who are going to quit in a year and say, you know what, even though I doubled my company, I'm not feeling this anymore. I don't want that. I want people who are absolutely 100% willing to follow the coaching 100%, no matter how they feel about me in the moment, but they're willing to give me that peace and allow me to lead, right? So pay attention to all of these things as you make your decisions because they'll be critical. I'll tell you, you won't always agree with coaching or advice that you give. However, if you've made an agreement to allow somebody to lead you, hey, you guys on Instagram, then, sorry, I'm moving Instagram around here. You're going to find that you're going to get better results than if you only take some of the coaching. Okay, so I want to do, sorry you guys on Instagram, I'm probably making you seasick here. I want to do an Ask Me Anything morning, which means that you can go ahead and ask me anything in your business and I will answer. So I'll give you a second to go ahead and just pop in a question, any question you want, and I will jump in there and answer it. Okay, Bonnie, we are expanding and now I have to hire an online project manager. What advice do you have for this? So Bonnie, I recommend that you go Kobe score yourself right now. Go to Kobe.com, take an A test. Honey, I can hear that. Go to Kobe.com and take an A test. I believe it's on the right-hand corner, top corner of Kobe. The reason why this is really important is because you need to know how you operate. So for instance, I am a quick start, and which means that you'd think that I would only hire quick starts as people around me. No. If somebody has a 6 or a 7 quick start on my team, I have to be very careful with visionary things in my life, meaning that coming up with ideas that we might do. Because if I do that, that quick start will grab it, implement it without me having to say a word. Now, some people might think that sounds like a dream come true, but it's not if you haven't made a decision that you want to do something. So what we've learned from Kobe is that I need somebody who is somewhere typically around a 5 quick start around me. I can also work with people that are a 3 quick start around me, but they need to be somewhere in that neighborhood. I also know through Kobe that if I have a high fact finder, you won't know what I'm talking about unless you go check this out, but fact finders are analyzers, right? They go through the data. I have a lot of high fact finders around me, a ton of them, right? They love to work with me because I can actually go and research my vision and then go to make it happen. However, if I give too many details to a high quick start, that person will stall out and get overwhelmed around me, right? So Bonnie, you need to go Kobe score yourself. Then you need to, we Kobe score before we ever do a hire in anybody working directly around me. So what that means is that then we ask Kobe, is this a perfect fit? And Kobe actually has an actual test inside of Kobe. I think it's called a perfect fit or the right fit. And so what you could do is actually put in what you need out of, let's say, executive assistant or a project manager, and you fill out all the details, and then you send that test over to a potential hire. Kobe will tell you if it's a perfect fit to work with you. Now, does that mean that your personalities will click? No. I hired a general manager at one point in my company, was a perfect fit for our company as far as a Kobe. All Kobe means is that the way they process and implement information is in perfect alignment with what would work for you. Now here comes the attitude piece. Bonnie, you have to hire mostly for attitude. Mostly for attitude, right? Like, I can't tell you how many people that we go through over the past, I would say, 2 years inside my company where the Kobe is fit, and then, the attitude is fit, but then we've maybe outgrown them inside the company. I'm going to talk about that for a second. I've known for a long time attitude is critical, right? However, attitude tends to get shaky when somebody outgrows their position, right? So remember, as an entrepreneur, your company is probably not going to grow the same way, at least when you get your momentum. It's not going to grow the same way that, let's say, an average company out corporate America company in the world, meaning that most companies will grow. If they grow 10%, that's massively impressive, right? But us entrepreneurs tend to be really ridiculously ambitious. And some years we go balls to the wall and we do everything we can and we become unbalanced in our life to push our company forward. And that's just true, right? It's just how we operate. And so instead of fighting that, you just have to know that's a part of your DNA as an entrepreneur. And so when that happens, for instance, often we'll grow our company, 40 or 50%. There's been some years we've doubled our company. I know many of my clients actually think that's normal to double your company, but that's extraordinary. However, many of you will do it. And when you do it, often you'll outgrow employees. You'll outgrow contractors. And so you'll find all of a sudden you used to love them, but now you no longer love them. And the reason why you no longer love them is because they're more work than what they're doing for you. And that's because they've actually outgrown the position, right? And so know that I learned this from the owner of Infusionsoft, Clayton. I learned that an employee really typically doesn't grow more than 2 growth spurts, right? So all these things, Bonnie, I'm giving you so that you know in advance, so that you don't have to come back to me later on going, why is this not working anymore? So Kobe score, make sure that you have a hungry employee and hungry contractor. Make sure that if you're hiring contractors, that they truly are contractors and not employees. You can actually Google a checklist out there. For my marketing mastery group, we're looking to bring somebody in right now to help you with that, because of the fact that too many people are running contractors when they should be running employees. So I hope that helped, Bonnie. Good morning, Alora. How are you? Okay, anybody else? Crystal, do you think it's a good idea to give out free coaching sessions to discover your tribe? Absolutely not. No, I think that is a bad advice that many coaching certification companies give. And know that I love coaching certifications. I understand that business. I think it's fantastic. However, no, you should not be. Here's how you should think, Crystal. What are you willing to give in a coaching package? So if you're just getting started in your coaching, here's some rules of thumb. Recommend selling private coaching first because it's your quickest path to cash, meaning that more people will pay you for your private time than for anything else until you get your strength in your leadership and your momentum. So often there's many things that I can do now in group that I could never do when I started as a coach because I didn't know how to lead it. I didn't know how to fulfill it or lead it and give the level of leadership that people would get the results. This is why you hear people say, I've been in many group coaching programs that have never gotten the results I wanted. That's because typically you had a leader that either didn't understand how to actually deliver group coaching or was not generous enough to create a level of infrastructure around group coaching to give people what they needed, right? So that's one aspect. I know that's not your question, but that's one aspect. When you're getting started, group is harder to sell because everybody wants your time, and your leadership typically isn't as strong. So for instance, I can't remember the last time anybody ever asked me my credentials, right? But when I started, people asked me what my credentials were all the time. And that was because even though I sounded good and I was strong in my enrollment, because that was something I'd already strengthened before I started my own business, I still had a level of hesitation in the words that I chose, right? Like I just had a level of hesitation in the words that I chose still. It's almost like somebody could smell insecurity, right? Like you can smell it. You can smell opportunists, right? People who are only friends with people because of who they are, or you can smell opportunists, and you can smell people pleasers, and you can smell fear, right? You can smell it. And so until that's completely out of you, the words that you choose and things like that, I recommend that you sell private coaching first. And here's why. Not only is it easier to sell, but secondly, you'll really figure out who your tribe is. Yes, your tribe will choose you, but that's because they'll choose you based out of your honesty. So what most of us coaches out there that teach business teach is we teach you how to create avatars. That's a very manila way of teaching business. Some of us will get creative and call them archetypes, or call them, personality types, or, but the truth is, all we're trying to do is to get you to identify who you enjoy serving and who you can make the biggest difference with. But that will self-select by you becoming more honest about what you believe, who you like to work with, and what you're offering. So your offer actually self-selects your tribe. So I just gave you 3 ways of finding your tribe, right? Your offer self-selects your tribe regardless, right? Choosing your avatar self-selects your tribe. But often when you're starting coaching, you don't even know who the heck you want to work with. This is why almost everybody who starts any level of coaching typically starts with people in massive distress. So business coaches typically start with people who, are complete newbies. Or relationship people typically start with people who want to find a relationship or find their soulmate. And you'll see, and that doesn't mean that everybody serving those industries are not pros or gurus. It just means that typically everybody starts with the bottom of the barrel, right? And that has a lot to do with our confidence. It has a lot to do our confidence when we start, and has a lot to do with the fact that we don't know who our tribe is, and so we need to start working with them. So, Krista, I advise you to first start working privately, because you'll really get to know who you love to work with and who you don't, right? So I know without a doubt, I am very, 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 I get very irritated with people with heavy energy. If you have heavy energy and you just want to talk about how bad you are or how broken you are, you're just not a great client for me, right? You're just, I like, no judgment. I just know that I just don't have the patience for it, right? And so for me, and that doesn't mean I don't have the patience for someone having a breakdown or even crying about something. I do have patience for that. I don't have patience who are going to constantly go back to, I'm broken, why am I not good enough? And they want to sit in that, and they want to spend their time talking to me about that. I don't have patience for that, right? And so, I know that, right? So that's a heavy personality. You guys know what I mean, right? A heavy personality, it drains me. Now, I love the person, but I didn't learn this until I started working with people. I love the highly ambitious person that gets excited when they see that this could work, or gets excited about helping more people, or will come up with a plan and they get excited about the plan. That fuels me. I also get excited about people who, when I watch people help other people, you know what I mean? Or when I play contests inside my company. When I look at the leaderboard of people in the leaderboard, I get excited about the people who actually show up and help, because I want to help them more, right? And so I love generous people. I hate stingy people. I'm straight up, it drives me nuts. When somebody is selfish or stingy for too long and I can't break them of it, or they won't open up about it, and everything they do, like they only get dressed up if it's for a date or for something that is like, an event. And they only actually get dressed up for these reasons because now it's about their image, versus someone who takes the time to show up on time and care about what they look like and care about the message that they give. That's actually a level of generosity, right? Like that's a level of generosity. So I love generous people on all levels. Oh, my son just woke up. It's okay. You can come out. You can come say hi. Yeah, I love that little guy. So I know that I'm great with those people. So Crystal, you'll get to know this when you start working with people, what fills you up and what doesn't fill you up. And don't make yourself wrong for it. Okay? Like I remember I used to try really hard to work with the heavy people, but if you look in my tribe, there's about 2 of them. I'm not kidding you, and I can tell you who the 2 are, right? Like there's 2 of them. And that's it out of my whole tribe of people, because they just don't last long in my group, right? Or in my community. So now another thing with you, Crystal, with the pricing point. Typically, if you're going to get private coaching, I would recommend 2 one-hour coaching sessions a month. And then to price it, ask yourself, what do I think that I could sell that at? And I know that's a weird way of pricing, but honestly, we all make up our pricing anyway. We all make up our pricing anyway. And what comes down to how we're able to sell our pricing really comes down to what we believe. And what we believe comes down to what we'll actually be willing to give, right? So again, it always comes back to us, right? So don't worry. People say, go look at the market research and what are people offering in your industry. In coaching and consulting, that is not true. I have people I have friends who are way stronger than me that are pricing way higher than me. And I have friends that are way weaker than me that are charging $80,000 for private coaching. And I don't do that. I charge $30,000, right? And so, we make it up. Right? So we make it up based on what we're willing to give. So what I'm willing to give going into next year is different than what I was willing to give going into like last year, right? And that just has to do with even my company size, right? Like the company size, the ambition level. As you start raising your prices, only the ambitious stay, right? So as you start raising your prices, only the ambitious stay. And the non-ambitious people who were already wishy-washy are going to choose out. They'll either choose another coach or they'll choose out. And that's typically because now they've hit their threshold of what they even believe they're capable of, right? And so they won't take the extra mile. Ambitious people will. So ask yourself, what are you willing to charge for those 2 1 hours a month, Crystal? And then what would be a little bit stretchy? A little bit stretchy. And then first charge what you think you could get for the first 3 people that you actually sell, and then jump it up to that little bit of a stretchy price and then go from there. And you'll find you'll start raising your prices. I hope that helps. Okay. We are 25 minutes after, so I'm going to actually cut it close here. You guys, I see you guys on the thread, so I will come back. I have a really busy day today, but I'm going to come back towards the end of the day and actually answer some questions. So I hope that helps. Hope that helps you guys on Instagram. So Instagram, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys right now. God bless. I will talk to you soon and have a great day. You guys on Facebook, I just wanted to share with you, tomorrow I have a special guest with me tomorrow who has been through a lot of turmoil, a lot of hard challenges in life. And I think that it can be a very inspiring coffee with Shanda. And I recommend that you get here, you get on this page at 5:26 tomorrow morning, that you're able to jump on, that you're able to really have a moment that could possibly open up any area that you're stuck in your life right now so that you can get massive momentum. And so I recommend without a doubt that you are here tomorrow morning at Coffee with Shanda. I'm not going to tell you any more information about it. I want you to show up. I want you to show up live. I want you to bring somebody with you that's having a hard time. I want you to go tell somebody today, go tell 1, 2, or 3 people today, look up, make a difference for people. I'm so tired of this bullshit of people looking up and only helping people when they have time, or only helping people that they think are influential, or only helping people because they feel guilty to help people. I want you to look up, and I want you to actually get out of your own way and be generous today. Think about 2 or 3 people today that honestly you could enroll to get up at 6 a.m. or you can send them the Facebook Live tomorrow morning. But my point is that tomorrow is going to be a very inspiring Coffee with Shanda. And I recommend that everybody get your ass out of bed and come, okay? So God bless. Bring somebody with you, and I will see you tomorrow morning at Coffee with Shanda. Mwah. Have a great day.